Hey engineers, welcome back. So for this video, we are going to go over Circuit 5B, its new components, and the code. So if we notice in Circuit 5B, we did add two new items. We added an additional gear motor and Velcro to secure the gear motor. So be careful with how you place the gear motor onto your base plate, because you may get your tire spinning in the opposite direction. So just look out for that. If you want your robot to go forward, then you have to have your gear motors placed correctly. And if they're not placed correctly, then just pry them off and put them back onto however you want them. So remember, when you command your robot to go right, it should go right. And if you want it to go left, it should go left. Alright, so let's check this out. And notice everything else is the same except for this additional gear motor that was added. And we added some wires to this location. So we have our two motors, and here's the additional piece. So remember, I am getting my code from SparkFun, and I'm copying and pasting it directly to CodeVendor. So we have new items right here, lines 24 through 26. This is allowing the new gear motor to be controlled, and we have these pins specifically being used to control that motor. We have the constant integer drive time equals 20, and this is the equivalent amount of time that is needed to move the motor for 1 inch. So let's see. In addition to that, we also identify our outputs, or our new pins. And finally, in our void loop section, notice that we have quite a bit of code here, but all we're doing is just defining what it means to go forward, what it means to go backwards, what it means to go right and left. So notice that we also provide a direction for the right motor and the left motor. So these are predetermined values that have been created down here. We're not worried about writing up this entire code. It is pretty lengthy. It's 160 lines of code. All we want to do is manipulate the code to allow the robot to move in different directions. So in this void right motor and void left motor section, we are specifying how we want the left motor and the right motor to move independently. So in this section up here, since we've already identified what a right motor is and a left motor is, we are now able to put in a value, and notice we can use negative or positive values or zeros to allow the motor to move forward or backwards. Alright, so if your code is set up correctly, you need to open up your serial monitor. Your motors are moving based on what value you put into your serial monitor. So remember, I'm using Arduino I. You need to open up your serial monitor and connect your device. So let's try it. So in this case, I'll type in F50 and we'll see what happens. And I hit enter. And my robot moves forward. Now I'm going to put B50 and my motor will move backwards. Alright. If I put R20, my robot will move to the right. If I put L20, my robot will slightly move to the left. We are going to go over challenge number 1 for circuit 5B. And in this situation, if we notice, we are supposed to replace the switch with a button. I already wired up my button. I took out my switch and I used my 2 wires that were already there to allow this button to work. So in this situation, when I click my button, my device moves forward and then it goes backwards and then it stops. Alright, so let's see how we do this. First, we need to get our code from 5B. So let's copy and paste that. And now that we have this pasted, let's find where we need to do this. So we need to edit our code in void loop. I'm going to copy lines 85 and 86. And I'm going to paste them into lines 70 and 71. When I push this button, I want my motors to move forward. And I want them to do this for 1 whole second. After moving forward for 1 whole second, I'm going to then want them to stop for a whole second. And one of the benefits for doing this is to allow our robots to move through a maze. In this situation, we don't have a maze yet, but you can try it out. So this will allow my motors to move for 1 second at this speed, and then they'll stop for 1 second, But let's say I want them to move back to their original position. So now I'm going to copy and paste that code, and all I have to change is my positive values into negatives. Alright, so I'm going to copy this and paste it and upload it through Arduino. 1 second, pause this for 1 second, moves back for a second. So here's our sequence of events. We move forward for 1 second, pause for 1 second, and then move backwards for 1 second. So now that you know how to do this, make sure you guys try out your own sequence of events, and good luck. So we are going to go over challenge number 2, and if you notice in the circuit, we have to replace the switch with the sensor. In the previous challenge, we replaced the switch with a button, and we did that successfully. At this point, I already have my photoresistor plugged in, my resistor that goes along with this photoresistor, and notice if we cover the photoresistor, my motors spin forward, they pause, and they spin forward, and they pause. However, when I uncover the photoresistor and when light hits the photoresistor, the wheels do not move. So anyways, we're going to go over how to code this up in this video, so stay watching. Let's make sure we unplug our red boards before we mess with the circuitry. At this point, you guys need to revisit circuit 1C, where we first use a photoresistor, and notice how we have 3 jumper wires, our photoresistor, and a 10 kilo ohm resistor. So you're going to need to set this up into our 5B circuit, and remember to remove the switch since we are replacing it. For the code, we're going to start off by going back to circuit 5B and copying and pasting their code from SparkFun, and we're going to put it into CodeBender. So I'm just going to show you how to use it on CodeBender, and then I will be uploading my code on Arduino IDE. After we copy and paste the code from circuit 5B, we now need to go to circuit 1C. Notice I'm already here. So in circuit 1C, I'm going to actually copy and paste whatever is important. So let's try this out. So this relates to the photoresistor. We identify our photoresistor term. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that into our original code before void setup. I'm also including a threshold value of 750. So if we go below this value, then our motors will start spinning. If we look at void setup, we notice we have nothing that has to do with our photoresistor. So now we move into the void loop. We immediately find in this line right here that our photoresistor value relates to our analog read 0, which is located in this area here, or the analog input section. So I'm going to copy that and paste that into our void loop. However, this code, if you recall, we have to use our serial monitor, but we are not using our serial monitor anymore, and we are not using our digital read 7 pin. So let's just get rid of this. We don't have a switch anymore. So this entire code right here is going to run if our photoresistor value is lower than our threshold. So in addition, we're also going to print out our photoresistor value. And we're going to need this item right here. So if the photoresistor is less than the threshold, then we will initiate a response. And we actually don't need any of this down here. You can delete it or keep it. I'm actually going to delete it. So let's try this out. So we'll keep this else statement here, and I'll explain why right now. Alright, so our code just got shorter. And let's make sure our brackets are closed. Notice this bracket doesn't really lead to anything else, so we need to close that. Our if statement closes all the way down there. We actually need to close that here. This one closes all the way down here, so notice how this bracket closes. This bracket is here with this else statement, and this if statement is right there. Okay, so in this situation, if our photoresistor value is lower than the threshold, then we're going to make the right motor spin at a speed of 200, and we're also going to make our left motor spin as well. And let's say this is going to happen for a delay of 2000 milliseconds or 2 seconds. And I'm going to copy all of this and paste it below to make the stop. So I'm going to put a value of 0 so that my right motor stops spinning and my left motor stops spinning for 2 seconds. Alright, so I'm going to verify this on Arduino IDE. Initially, my motors spin forward at a speed of 200. My motors stop. And now with the negative value, the motors spin in the opposite direction. And then they stop and they go forward again, stop, backwards. So let's see what this looks like. Okay, so at this point we do have our photoresistor turning on with our serial monitor, and we can detect that we have light. So if I move in, notice that the amount of light decreases and my device starts moving, however it stops. So the sequence events keep going. I'm going to initiate the robot. Notice it goes forward, it stops, it goes backwards, it stops, it goes forward, and now the sequence is just going over and over again, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.